Alright, so today's machine is WinterMute, and this machine today is it's not very difficult, it's kind of intermediate challenge, and considering the fact that this machine has two parts, the first part is hacking the Straylight machine, and the other part which is hacking the Neuromancer. So in this topography over here, I have put through the kind of topography or challenge. So here we have the attacking machine. Okay, our first objective is to hack the Straylight machine. Okay, and from the Straylight machine we need to get to the Neuromancer. Okay, so basically the Straylight and the Neuromancer are on the same network, okay, but on different adapters. How this can happen? Basically, I have here my Kali machine, which has the IP address 192.168.1.3 on adapter 1, which is the same, which is on the same network of Straylight, okay. But Straylight has two adapters. The first one is on the same network with my Kali machine, but the other one is on different and separate network. So basically the other adapter has an IP address which is on the same network of a Neuromancer. Okay, so totally and eventually a Neuromancer is on different network from Kali. Okay, so in this challenge or in this vulnerable hub, the first objective is to get root access to the Straylight, and then to do network pivoting in order to have access to Neuromancer. Okay, so basically guys, this challenge is kind of intermediate challenge, and I have faced problems in this challenge. Basically I have already done this challenge, but the second time when I wanted to do the challenge for the YouTube video, I come across a problem which I couldn't get shell access over here. So it seemed that the machine has or got stuck the second time I did the machine. So it kind of got stuck and I didn't know the reason. So I'm gonna walk you through till the point where it got stuck, okay? And then I'm gonna continue in the network packet tracer to show you the rest of steps that I did in order to have access to the Neuromancer when I did the machine for the first time. Okay, so basically, let me minimize those over here. Alright. Okay, so you begin your challenge by scanning the network or scanning the IP address of the Straylight. Straylight is the machine over here, okay? So we scan the machine, okay, and we see that we have 3 ports, 25, 80, 3000s, okay? For the sake of saving time, okay, you can go to HTTP, you can go to the postfix SMTPD, but you won't find anything meaningful. Just navigate to the Mongo's server. So if I go here to the server over here, let me log out. Wait. I think it's 10 this time. Okay, so if you go to the main web page of the machine, you will find that it runs on port 3000. So, and there is a hint over here. It says that the default username and password are admin. So if you type admin and you click on login, we will be logged in successfully. Okay, but instead you will see the page, the home page about. So there is the home page of NTOPNG, and you will find there are a couple of services and applications running on this site. And every application, every service, there is the associated version of this application. basically, guys, all of those services are vulnerable, but you will not find anything meaningful by exploiting them. The second step you need to do is to go to flows, and over here you will find there is a directory which is turning below. Okay, so as you can see, since we started the challenge, there is nothing wrong with this challenge or with this machine till now, except the fact that there is default credential were supplied. So the first thing to consider from this challenge in a real case scenario is not to put default credentials or any public login interface. Okay, so that was the first misconfiguration, which is putting default credentials as admin. Okay, so, and as I said, in a real case scenario you will not find these spoilers about directories. Okay, so let's go to this directory here. If I go to this directory, don't worry about those are the footprints or the tracks that I left when I did the first challenge successfully. So let me go over here. I think there is no problem with the directory. Yeah, the network is working. So let me try to go to host. If you go to hosts over here, there is a problem in the network. Is my network working? Let me see. Yeah, it works. So I'm supposed to get the page to work. That's the problem with vulnerable machines, guys. They work for one time, and for the rest of the times they never work. Let me ping the machine. Wait. Ping. Oh, it's unreachable, so I think I need to reset the vulnerable hub or the vulnerable machine. So let me go over here, click on reset. Okay, so let's see. So basically, after we open this page, we will see a page that presents some kind of, or some sort of a service to view the logs of a specific individual. Basically, it's kind of police service or query service where you can select the individual, and after selecting the individual you can see the logs describing his or her activities. Okay, and from this point over there we can see that there is a path traversal attack. Path traversal attack, after we harness this vulnerability or misconfiguration, we can see that there is a log file or accessible log file that we can use in order to stack another attack. So let's see if the machine has restarted. So it's still in progress. Alright, so as I said, the first issue with this challenge is the default credentials. Then you will see there is a misconfiguration that allows an attacker to exploit or do path traversal attack. After the path traversal attack, you're gonna inject a malicious command in the postfix SMTP server because it's set to not authenticate anonymous users, and that's the third misconfiguration. The fourth is allowing input or unsanitized input in the post SMTP fix, or postfix SMTP server. After that, we will get limited shell, and after the limited shell, we will try to escalate our privilege into root access on the Straylight machine. Alright, so that's quite a waste of time waiting for unstable machines to run. So finally, the unstable machine worked. Okay, so let's try to access the machine. So let's first try to see if the machine has acquired a new IP address. Alright, that's quite good. It hasn't acquired an IP address yet. This is very frustrating. It works for one time and then you cannot get it worked another time. So let me scan again. First, let me check the configuration of the machine. So, quite everything is set up correctly. So, what was the reason? I don't know. Basically, it's unstable machine, guys. I hate this machine. So, let me see my IP address. Okay, net discover. I'm gonna do this for the last time for this machine. 1.024. Alright. So let me try to continue walking you through this challenge by telling you the main idea, guys. So basically here the UI over here, I don't think I'm gonna be able to explain this theoretically. Let me go over here and shut down this fucking machine, power off, and then I'm gonna remove it, import, so next, alright, so settings, no, clone, I don't want to clone. So settings, network, don't forget guys to set the adapter for adapter 1 to be on the same network of your attacking machine. In my case, it's the bridge adapter. And adapter 2 enable the adapter 2. Okay, don't forget that. For the Straylight machine, don't forget to enable two adapters. One of them on your network of the Kali machine, and the other is on another network, which is host only adapter preferably, and Ethernet adapter 2. Okay, powering on the machine. No, over here I think. I missed the thing. So on Straylight, we're gonna do bridged adapter, enable the second adapter to be on Ethernet 2, and for the Neuromancer, we're gonna enable one adapter only, which is host only adapter. Alright, let's run first this one. And make sure to run the machine or power the machine on using only VirtualBox, because this machine is very unstable. It works barely on VirtualBox. Don't try to run it on VMware, it's not gonna work. I hate when some people like upload machines on Vulnhub and they don't test the machines for more than one time. It's very frustrating for someone who tries to work on the machine and produce a walkthrough, and then after doing the walkthrough after doing the machine for the first time, I couldn't get it to work on the second time. It got stuck. That's why I'm gonna explain part of the challenge, or I'm gonna walk you through on this challenge first using practical apertures, and then I'm gonna shift to theoretical apertures using packet tracer. Alright, so let's now go to our Kali box, and over here so before hitting enter, let me make sure that the machine has booted. I have been on this machine since, for 4 hours. I have been working on this machine for like 4 hours, and till now it has instabilities. So let me go now. I hit enter. Okay, and now we got the IP address, which is 10. So let's try to go again over here, enter, and he will see that the Artificial Intelligence Research and Development Center, and down there, as I said to you, there's an option to select a person whose activity will be shown. For example, Molly, submit a query, and you'll see the activity log for Molly over here. Okay, so what is the what's the next step over here? Basically, you'll see that there is polo.php, polo equal Molly. So the polo is the main parameter that handles the displaying of the logs. Okay, so as a very clear and conspicuous attacking vector, if you put fast traversal and etc password, okay, so the very first hint that the path traversal worked is because there is no any 404 error on or upon entering the web page. Now if you go to our command line and try to telnet to our postfix SMTP server, 25, yes. So as you can see, there is no authentication, or there is no challenge of authentication for anonymous users. So basically, if I wanted to see the logs of this SMTP server, I can write over here log mail Okay, so what you see here are the logs of the SMTP server. Okay, your next step is to inject malicious command through the SMTP server. How you can do that? Basically, you need first to know the basic syntax for interacting with the SMTP postfix server. The first one is you need to type mail from, okay, and then type any arbitrary email, for example me@me.org. Alright, then the next step is quite clear. Set up your listener on port 444, and then you're gonna inject the malicious command, which is a reverse netcode or PHP one-liner that connects back to your machine. So in order to do that, we're gonna inject the malicious command in the recipient field, recipient 2, and over here we write or we type the PHP one-liner. So in my privilege escalation file, I can see they have a couple of PHP liners. We can use any one of those. Okay, I'm gonna put those in the video description after getting this done. And let's have this over here, and I think the IPs are correct and the port are correct, so everything is correct. Of course, because I did this before, I don't need to modify anything, but make sure you modify the IP address and the port to which the PHP will connect to. Alright, so we go over here. And hit on enter. It says bad recipient and the syntax, no problem. This is a kind of you need to ignore this problem over here, and then you need to refresh. If you refresh, you will see that the command has been logged in the postfix SMTP log, and as you can see here. Okay, and now you should get a reverse shell back, but in my case I got the shell for, when I did the channel for the first time, but right now I couldn't know the reason, what the fuck has happened to this machine. I couldn't get the shell for the second time. So if this happened to you, okay, please write a comment in the description down and suggest a solution to this problem, or just write if this problem has happened to you during your walkthrough. Oh, sorry, not walkthrough, during the challenge. Okay, so because I did this before, I'm gonna walk you through now how to continue this challenge. Okay, but I'm gonna continue with my packet tracer, as I said, because the machine got stuck, and I'm gonna continue over here. Okay, so now we are, after you get shell access on Streamlight, your next step is to find or de-escalate your privilege. What you're going to do is to find all the binaries that has the SUID bit set, okay, using this command over here. So find all the binaries with the permission or permission execute or the set UID SUID. So next you will find that there is a binary called screen 4.50 which has the SUID set. So it means that you can use this binary in order to escalate your privilege. The next step is to find an exploit for this binary, and the exploit for this is over here. As you can see, GNU screen 4.5 local privilege escalation. So your next step is to download this exploit using the command wget and store the exploit in the temp directory on Straylight. Then give it a permissions in order to run the exploit, and then run the exploit on Straylight. Once you run the exploit, you will get root access. Okay, and upon getting root access and reading the flag, there is a hint for the Neuromancer machine over here, which says that Tomcat is running on it with a struts vulnerability. So it's kind of hint for you guys for rooting the Neuromancer machine. Okay, but how we can access now the Neuromancer? Now here comes the second objective of this machine, which is pivoting around. So this challenge, guys, it explains very briefly that in a real case scenario, we have an attacker over here is having access to a web server over here, okay, and from this web server he wants to access an internal client, which is in this case a Neuromancer. So the Neuromancer in our case is an internal client or in an internal network, and the Straylight is a kind of public facing server. It's web server, email server, whatever. Okay, so the next step is do network pivoting. I'm gonna remind you guys of previous challenges on Vulnhub that made use of network pivoting, and if you remember, we made a video on this and we used many techniques that use SSH port forwarding, proxy change, or metasploit, auto route in order to have access to the internal client's computer. But because the Straylight machine over here doesn't have SSH, so we couldn't do SSH port forwarding. Your next step is to add a static route, okay, from the Kali machine, which is over here. So you want to add route from this machine to this machine through this machine. The command to accomplish this is IP. R stands for route add, which is here the IP address of the network. This network is the network for the Neuromancer machine, okay, via 1.2, which is the Straylight machine. So it means that we are adding a route from a route for the access of Kali machine to the Neuromancer through Straylight. Okay, now after you have added a static route on the Kali machine, go ahead on Straylight machine and do some kind of NAT. So what does this command do? Basically, it put the server Straylight over here on a NAT network. Okay, remember that the Straylight machine has two adapters. One of it is on the network or has the IP address 1.2, and the other adapter ends with 0.2. So in this command over here, I'm telling the Straylight to stay behind NAT on the IP address that ends with 0.2. This step is very crucial, guys, in order to have access to Neuromancer. So this machine right now, by running this command, this machine is on the same network with the Neuromancer with an IP of ends with 0.2. Okay, and we have set up that we need to route or make a default route or static route from the Kali machine to Neuromancer through the IP address of Straylight of the adapter 1. The connection, or the Kali machine connects to Neuromancer right now in this in this way. So Kali machine requests access to Neuromancer through the IP address of the first adapter, okay, which ends in 2. And because we put kind of NAT command, or we run the Straylight behind NAT, this IP is turned into the IP which is 0.2, which is on the same network of a Neuromancer. In this case, the Kali machine is able to access or communicate with the Neuromancer. Okay. Alright. So how can we get the IP address of a Neuromancer? Basically on Straylight, you see the ARP table, because the Straylight is on continuous communication with the Neuromancer, so the IP address of a Neuromancer must be listed on the Straylight ARP table. So viewing the ARP table with ARP-A will get you the IP address of Neuromancer. Okay. So upon getting the IP address of a Neuromancer, we need to do some kind of port forwarding. But before doing port forwarding, upon getting the IP address of a Neuromancer, we go back to our Kali machine, we do nmap, we scan the machine of a Neuromancer. Okay. Now upon scanning the machine, you will find 3 open ports. The port that you need to bother with is the Tomcat, or the port on the Tomcat server. Okay. Since the hint on the Straylight, after routing the Straylight, the hint says that this Tomcat is running on it with a struts vulnerability. So you take the port 8080, okay, on Tomcat, and open your Metasploit, search for struts 2 vulnerability. Okay, so upon searching for struts 2, you will find the exploit. Just put the rhost to be the IP address of a Neuromancer, which is the targeted host, the target URL, which is on the exploit, showcase action. Basically, the struts, you can't find the exploit publicly, but you can use Metasploit in order to have it between your hands. And the most importantly, guys, here, the L port. Okay, you can set the L port whatever you want, but the L host, which is the host that receives the connection, it will be either Straylight or the Kali machine. But I want the Kali machine, or my attacking machine, to receive the connection back from Neuromancer. That's why I set the L host to be 192.168.0.2, which is the NAT IP address of a Straylight. Okay. Now the connection, or after the exploitation of a Neuromancer, a connection back will be established from Neuromancer to Straylight on the IP address 0.2. Now the point is, how can I forward the connection back to my machine or attacking machine? Basically, you're gonna run port forwarding on Straylight using the IP table commands. So now any port or any connection on port 43s, as we said over here, will be forwarded to 1.3, which is the attacking machine over here. Okay, so this is kind of routing or networking concepts you need to be familiar with. Now after transferring or routing the connection back to our attacking machine from Neuromancer, next there's an exploit to download to escalate your privilege. Now from here we only get limited shell or kind of meterpreter session. To escalate our privilege, we're gonna use the exploit over here, which is local privilege escalation for the Neuromancer host. Okay, so a Neuromancer, after you are a Neuromancer, just write or type wget and store the Excel on temp directory, then give it permissions, and then kick it off, and you will get root access on Neuromancer. I'm sorry guys that I couldn't be able to explain the second part of this challenge practically, because the machine is unstable. It has worked for the first time when I first did the challenge, but as you can see, the second time I couldn't get a shell, and the machine gets stuck so much on continuous basis. That's why I was forced to explain to you the second part of this challenge using network packet tracer and I try to explain or simplify the commands as much as I can, so you will not get confused about what are the commands that you need to run, guys. So make sure now you take screenshot of this diagram in order to know what are the commands that you need to run or issue against the Straylight, the Neuromancer, after you get limited shell. I hope you guys learned from this lesson and this walkthrough. Basically, it's very it's not very tough. It's intermediate challenge, but it's very interesting. It's quite good. You harnessed so many concepts and use so many principles of penetration testing. Among them is the network pivoting. It was a very good challenge, quite good challenge, but also although it's it got stuck so much, but I enjoyed this challenge and I hope you did so. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.